先上结论 ，RA 如果只念一小段话，这个方法是可行的。首先，不念的那部分肯定是扣分的，这个是毋庸置疑的，只是扣分的多少而已。这就跟一直以来强调 repeat sentence 只说一半就够了是一个概念，只是现在大家把苗头指向了 re-allow， 因为官方的 score guide 上面并没有明确的说过 RA 的内容分是怎样一个算法，所以大家都默认是要念完的。这就跟新手一开始在备考 repeat sentence 的时候，都会默认要把句子复述的完整是一样的心态。而印度小哥作为领头羊，他已经测试过这一点了，所以不需要再纠结这个理论上的问题，我也没必要重新一模一样按他的方式再做一遍测试。大家真正纠结的点有两个，第一，实操性，第二，给阅读的共分会不会受到影响。针对第一点，我了解到的网上的一些解读是说，如果能把一句话都念得十分完美的人，就更加不怕把剩下的内容一并念完，顺便拿掉所有的内容分，就算有个别的难词，也只需要用 something 处理掉，没有必要浪费这部分剩余的分数。或许我们可以换个角度，一句话都念不好的人，如果要去念所有的内容，在这样的紧张感下，不是会更加卡壳吗？而这一部分同学，如果有机会去挑选最简单、最容易把握的那一小段话，在有限的40秒准备时间里面反复练习，练习个3、4、5遍，是不是非常有机会把这一句话念得很好呢？毕竟我们都知道，很多时候念不好是因为时间太过紧张，如果能多练习几遍，可能会是完全不一样的结果。所以我的第二个结论是 RA 只念一小段话可行且不限人群。具体的操作方法是在准备时间选取最简单的一小段完整的内容，反复练习到完美，然后在答题录音时间借这一小段话来展示完美的流利度和发音。但是同时我也想跟大家强调一下，印度小哥除了 RA 只念了一小段话以外，他的 repeat sentence 几乎是满分， describe image 和 retell lecture 也近乎完美，连 answer show question 也只错了一道题。那么最终他拿到口语90分的这个正确率，对大部分同学来说是否有参考价值呢？谁都知道真正的大魔王是 repeat sentence， 所以这边我做了一个极端的测试，在印度小哥的基础之上，我调整了答题正确率， repeat sentence 我只复述一半，只拿2分， describe image 我只念标题，重复3遍之后直接结尾，每一题控制在20秒左右就结束， retell lecture 也是一样，而 answer show question 只答对一半。那么这套操作会给我多少分呢？我们一起来观摩一下。Credit unions are non-profit organizations that were imported to the United States. Credit unions are non-profit organizations that were imported to the United States. Often asking them to discuss often asking them to discuss products and services while researchers take notes about This course provides an introduction to the history and development As a result, it is likely to save students time and effort. During the preceding time together and a sharing of those thoughts or insights. Tourists and students might be the price we pay for the linguistic genius.
I look forward to meeting you and to helping you realize your goals.
I look forward to meeting you.
Read the fitness center instructions before attempting to use the equipment.
Read the instructions before use the equipment.
The books are filled with drawings of machines he invented when he was a student.
The books he invented when he was a student.
Financial support can be offered to help pay your fees and other costs.
Help pay your fees and other costs.
It is necessary to solve the equation to determine the unknown variable.
It is necessary to solve the equation.
The book is informative, but it could be accused of political bias.
The book is informative, but it could be something.
During an official ceremony, a memorandum of understanding was signed by the academic dean.
During an official ceremony, a something by the academic.
Our tutorial will take place on the second floor in room 1.
Tutorial on the second floor in room 1.
The library offers group study rooms so you can work with other students.
So you can work with other students.
Proficiency in a foreign language may be demonstrated by assessment.
Foreign language may be demonstrated by something. This picture shows information about average rainfall in inches. This picture shows information about average rainfall in inches. This picture shows rainfall in inches. This picture shows average rainfall in inches. This picture shows average rainfall in inches. This picture shows percentage of students aged 5 to 17 taught at home USA. This picture shows information about percentage of students aged 5 to 17 taught at home USA. This picture shows information about percentage of students aged 5 to 17 taught at home USA. In conclusion, this picture is useful. This picture shows information about percentage of students from disadvantaged backgrounds entering university in England. This picture shows information about percentage of students from disadvantaged backgrounds. This picture shows information about entering university in England. This picture shows information about percentage of students from disadvantaged backgrounds. In conclusion, this picture is very useful. This picture shows information about the life cycle of a frog. This picture shows information about the life cycle of a frog. This picture shows information about eggs. This picture shows information about the life cycle of a frog. In conclusion, this picture is useful.
The first results on the Welsh language were reported in March 2003. The census found that there were 576,000 Welsh speakers aged 3 and over, or 21% of the population, which represents a 2% increase since 1991. The proportion of people in Wales aged 3 and over who can speak, read and write Welsh increased from 13.6% to 16.3% over the period 1991 to 2001. A further 138,000, or 5% of the population, said they understood Welsh but did not speak it. In addition, 84,000 gave a combination of positive responses that was imprecise, making it difficult to work out whether they could understand, speak, read or write Welsh. The growth in the number of Welsh speakers has occurred largely in the south and east of the country.
This lecture shows information about 2001 census data Welsh speaker. This lecture shows information about 2001 census data Welsh speaker. This lecture shows information about total number of speakers. This lecture shows information about able to speak, read, and write. This lecture shows information about able to understand but not speak. This picture shows information about imprecise data. In conclusion, this lecture is useful.
The most visible manifestation of this wealth was a series of grand projects that were begun by Napoleon III, mainly in Paris, soon after he came to power in the 1850s. He said, "I want to be a second Augustus," making reference to the Emperor Augustus's claim that he'd found Rome a city of brick and left it one of marble. In the case of Napoleon III, he found Paris in 1851 a city of cobblestones and twisting medieval streets, and he left it one of asphalt and macadam, because what he began doing was bulldozing old Paris, the ancient medieval part of Paris, and replacing it with wide new boulevards, 85 miles of them, that he lit with some 20,000 gas lamps, which he took out all the old 18th century oil lamps, replaced them with gas, which gave a much cleaner, brighter, regular light. Also, 50,000 trees are planted alongside them, many of them the chestnut trees that we now think of as synonymous with Paris. And he drained the streets with 200 miles of sewers, these new famous Parisian sewers beneath the streets, thereby making the city a much more safer, pleasant place to wander, to stroll, to people watch, to have coffee or absinthe in the cafes.
This lecture shows information about renovation of Paris. This lecture shows information about renovation of Paris. This lecture shows information about trees and cities. This lecture shows information about lights and roads. This lecture shows information about sanitation. In conclusion, this lecture is very useful.
How many years are in a decade?
10 years.
What do you use to identify yourself when you arrive in a foreign country?
Passport.
What do you press when you arrive at someone's front door?
Doorbell.
What is the occupational title for the composer of a novel?
I don't know.
The terms circumference, diameter, and radius refer most commonly to which geometric shape?
I don't know.
What do you call a person who trains a team of athletes?
I don't know.
What is the term for an extended speech by one person in a play?
I don't know. 可以看到，口语我拿到了70分。那么对于目标分是4个79的同学来说，剩余的那9分从哪里来呢？速度进入测试2，我主要调整了 DI 的答题方式，选择撑爆它的内容分，因为对于口语来说，这是短期内可以实现的最佳提分方式。Average rainfall in inches, 47.25, 33.7, 7.66, 22.02. New York, Dallas, Phoenix, Honolulu. This picture shows information about average rainfall in inches. This picture shows information about 47.25. This picture shows information about 33.7. This picture shows information about 7.66. This picture shows information about 22.02. This picture shows information about New York and Dallas. This picture shows information about Phoenix and Honolulu. In conclusion, this picture is useful. Percentage of students aged 5 to 17 taught at home USA. 1.7%, 2.2%, 2.9%, 3.4%. This picture shows information about percentage of students aged 5 to 17 taught at home, USA. This picture shows information about 1.7%. This picture shows information about 2.2%. This picture shows information about 2.9%. This picture shows information about 3.4%. This picture shows information about 1999 and 2003. This picture shows information about 2007 and 2012. In conclusion, this picture is useful. Percentage of students from disadvantaged backgrounds entering university in England. 60% increase. (2006) 2014 This picture shows information about percentage of students from disadvantaged backgrounds. This picture shows information about entering university in England. This picture shows information about 2006 and 2014. This picture shows information about 60% increase. In conclusion, this picture is useful. The life cycle of a frog: eggs, embryo, tadpole, tadpole with 2 legs, tadpole with 4 legs, frog. This picture shows information about the life cycle of a frog. This picture shows information about tadpole and tadpole with 2 legs. This picture shows information about tadpole with 4 legs. This picture shows information about frog. This picture shows information about eggs. This picture shows information about embryo. In conclusion, this picture is very useful. 很明显，根据第2章成绩单，口语拉高了14分。现在我们再来说说第2点，阅读共分是否会受到 RA 的影响？我们要知道，官方模考测试存在防窥机制，如果只做某个单独的题型，出来的分数是有误导性的。不然的话 ，PTE 一直没有公开的一些算法，只要做的测试够多，总会被倒推出来。所以我有必要完整的做完整个考试，才能下结论。当我把阅读部分自身的题型控制在只扣除5分以内，最终阅读拿到了90分，完全超出我的预期。还有一些同学担心这样做会不会被取消成绩，这个问题很容易被解释。这个方法的本质是主动选择放弃部分的内容分，就跟参加雅思考试选择大作文不做直接交白卷一样。但是这个方法的时效性目前还是未知的。如果哪天 PTE 修改了评分机制，比如直接拉高内容分的比例，那就真的没办法了。所以最后的最后 ，RA 只念一小段话的这个方法，大家可以放心使用，也祝大家早日上岸。
听我说，谢谢你。